Hi everyone, and welcome to our special user session dedicated to tax year end. So in today's session, we're going to walk you through some of the important platform processes that you need to know and just generally equip you and your team to get you through the busy tax year end period as smoothly as possible. So today I'm joined by our account managers, Sarah Smith and David Lucas, and they're going to run everything through with you. Sarah, over to you.
Thanks, Natalie. In today's session, Dave and I will be taking you through the common tax year end themes, the tools to help you manage this busy period, the key dates to keep you ahead of the deadline, and where you can go for further support. First, David will be taking you through some on-screen demos to help you navigate your way around all the tax year end information available. I'll then take you through a series of on-screen demos as well, showing you how to generate reports to help you plan and target your tax year campaign. And then I'll be demonstrating the practical steps like adding ISA and junior ISA wrappers, adding ISA and intra-account transfers, and pension top-ups. After this, I'll be back on screen to run through the key dates to help you stay ahead of the tax year end deadlines. I'll also share some hints and tips to help you submit business efficiently during this busy period, and then a quick recap of where you can go for further support. So now, David, over to you.
Thanks, Sarah. As we all know, being able to access information at your fingertips is absolutely key to being organised, even more so in this time of lockdown that we're all working through at home. The good news is we've actually enhanced the resources available to you this year, and we've made them available to you via our tax year end hub. So I'll take you through all of this next, and that'll help your approach to your tax year end. Those of you familiar with using Nucleus at tax year end to meet your clients' needs will be aware that each year we put a new tab onto the platform front end. This year is no different, and the tax year end support tab can be found on the platform as usual. So to access it, just click on the tab, and this will take you through to all the supporting information and materials to help you meet the challenges of this time of year, and also to maximize the opportunities for you and your clients. You will notice this year that the layout and the feel of it is slightly different to previous years, but much of the information still contains the same detail that we've had before. This year as well, we've also created a tax year end support hub available for access from our .com site, which contains all of this information as well, but it's designed to make it easier for you to be able to access the information whilst working on the platform, where you're either working from home or you're being more agile and maybe using just a laptop or two screens, so you're not having to jump between working on a client's case and accessing the support information you need. But in terms of what's contained within here, every section has hyperlinks through to provide you with further information. So whether that's around making the submission of business efficient for you, and again, we would encourage you to utilise scanned documents and e-signatures that we introduced last year, rather than submitting paper documents. Again, as we've communicated to many of you, with this being the third lockdown in the pandemic, postal services are still being impacted. So please, wherever possible, do use those processes that were introduced. Similarly as well, with the ability to settle or authorise ad hoc fees for your clients via Nucleus Go is another great way of ensuring that you're reducing the amount of paperwork and submissions having to be made into the head office. So within the site itself, obviously we've got key dates. We've also got further summaries around the trade on trade functionality, which is great for your bed and ISA business, because it means, again, if you remember, you don't have to wait for trades to settle in order for you to complete those simultaneous transactions from a general account into the ISA. So again, saving you valuable time at this time of year. We've also got available as well the ISA declarations for the 2021-22 tax year. So again, where you've got a client that maybe hasn't been making concurrent subscriptions, a new declaration may be needed. Similarly as well for any brand new ISAs where the client hasn't had or utilised their ISA subscription with us previously, will also need to have these completed. Other information we have within here are our easy step guides. So everything from transferring pensions, ISAs, topping up existing ISAs with new money, or transferring the existing ISA to Nucleus. And a new feature we've brought in this year is around email and letter templates to help support you in your engagement with clients. This will link in very nicely with what Sarah will be sharing with you later around reports within the platform, where you can look for clients who maybe haven't utilised their ISA subscriptions in this current tax year, or maybe have still got further contributions they can make into their pensions. And this really makes it very much a one-stop shop for you in that regard. As I mentioned, we are looking to move away from the postal service this year, particularly due to the delays that have been incurred due to the pandemics. So again, we would encourage, in addition to using scanned documents and electronic signatures, that payments wherever possible are made via direct credit. And you can find the account details where to send these through to on the site as well. Again, these are also available via the tax year end hub. All of our fact sheets you'd expect and video how-to guides can also be accessed here as well. And as I mentioned, and we'll flick across to it, the tax year end hub also provides you with all of this information. So we have 6 categories across the top of the page that you can access this from. And you can click in to the resources that are available. So whether it be key dates or whether it be the support that's available on the platform, all the information is the same as you have on the tax year end hub within the platform, all your useful videos. Importantly as well, don't forget that you can utilise your support here at Nucleus, whether that be your account managers like Sarah and myself, your customer relationship managers, or your relationship managers, and contact details for each of our regional areas are also available via the hub. Now, at the start of this, I did promise you that I'd give you a high-level view of what we'd be looking at in terms of some of the key dates, and this will be built on further by Sarah later on in this session today. So, as I mentioned, we have this time of year a little issue of Easter appearing. So with tax year end being on the 5th of April, Easter falls smack bang when we would normally have some of our final processing dates. So for this year, we've got a lead up time of really 3 weeks, so 15th of March onwards. And it's within this period that we have some of our most key dates for you to be aware of. Friday the 19th of March is when the sales of settlement for pension income need to be completed for pension income payments to be made within this current tax year. We then move forward to Wednesday the 24th of March, where the settlement of sales for inter-account transfers would need to be completed. So this is where you are moving, say, from a general account to a pension account or a general account to an ISA account. That's when those settlements have to have occurred by. Monday the 29th of March is the last date for the instruction of pension income to be received, for that payment still to be made in this current tax year. And it's also the last day that you can instruct BACS payments to be sent to us for that money to be received by us within this current tax year of 2020-2021. The following day, Tuesday the 30th of March, is your last day if you are going to be posting anything via Royal Mail to post applications. It's also the last day that we will actually process pension income for this current tax year. So if we haven't received the instruction on Monday the 29th, we won't be able to process it on Tuesday the 30th of March, and therefore it would fall into next tax year for the 2021-2022 year. And then the final date we have is the 1st of April, which is a Thursday. That's the date by which all applications must have been received by us here at Nucleus, all monies must have been received, and all bed and ISA trades must have been placed. So again, you will see from that date, which is why we have those crucial dates at the beginning of that week, on Monday the 29th and Tuesday the 30th. And then, as I alluded to, Friday the 2nd of April is a bank holiday, together with Monday the 5th of April, which is then taking us to our tax year end. So without further ado, I'll now pass you back to Sarah, who will then be covering more of the finer detail around the considerations in each of the processing areas, as well as support around reports that you'll have for tax year end.
Thanks, David. And now I'm going to show you how to use the ISA Junior ISA and pension contribution report to maximise your tax year end planning. To run the ISA and JISA contributions report, once you've logged in, select the Reports tab from the top. Here you'll see a list of all the reports available by pressing the question mark. And in this instance, we're going to select the ISA and JISA contributions. So select that from the drop-down box. You can select it at advisor or firm level. Here I'm selecting advisor. You can also choose whether it's an Excel, CSV or TSV. I'm choosing Excel. Then hit download. And then the report will generate into your download tray. From the report output, you'll be able to see the advisor, client references, whether an ISA declaration is required, the annual limit, contributions made in the current tax year, any value of the general investment account, and also whether a bed and ISA has been previously used, and the current available limit for this tax year. You'll also be able to identify those that have had single contributions paid in, and then again, whether there's any remaining limit in the current tax year. For any that have a declaration requirement, you'll see that these come up in column J. And you'll also be able to see the values of general investment accounts, and then again, we'll be able to use this to determine whether the bed and ISA functionality can be used. This report is also available for the junior ISAs. Just select the account type from the filter in column H. So to run the pension report, again, going into the Reports tab, select the report type, pension contributions. In the type, you can choose the advisor or firm level. At this point, I'm choosing the advisor and select the format. Then hit download. The report will then appear in your download tray. It has downloaded. You can go into the report. It will show details of the advisor, so you can filter by advisor. The client details will pull through, their reference, contact numbers, the account type, account number, date the account was opened, whether they've triggered the MPAA, contribution limit, whether that's 40,000 or 4,000, any single or regular contributions and tax relief, and the remaining allowance for the current tax year. So now that we know how to run the reports, I'm now going to show you how to add a new ISA, how to add a top up to an existing ISA, and how to add a new junior ISA. I'll also show you how to add a bed and ISA, and if you're looking to move money between clients' accounts, I'll also show you our inter-account transfer process. I'm now going to show you how to add a new ISA for an existing client. So once you've logged on, select the client from the Clients tab. You can either search for the client by name, account number, or reference. And select the client from the search list. And then go into Top Up, Add Investment. In the New Account section, add ISA and hit the Add button. You can give the account a name if you wish. And now choose the contribution type. And the annual advice, either as a percentage or pound amount. And then hit Next. And then the amount that you wish to add. The payment method. And if there's an initial fee, add the amount of the initial fee. You can either add another lump sum or add a regular payment, and then hit Next. Now search for the funds, either by the model portfolio name or by individual fund codes or names. If you're searching by fund name, if you hover over the name of the fund itself, it will generate the fund fact sheet. To add the fund, simply press the plus button and repeat this process until you've added all the funds that you need and the totals equal 100%. You'll also see there's options to take natural income or generate a consolidated KID document. Then hit Next. And now, if you need to, you can change the illustration growth rates. To generate the illustration, tick the Illustrate box and hit Illustrate. If not, tick the Submit box, confirm the anti-money laundering declaration, and then hit Submit. All the documents that are available to print will be generated. You can then download these and send them over to us. I'm now going to show you how to add an ISA top-up. So once you're in the client account, you can either do this from the wrap summary or from the ISA account itself. I'm going to do this from the wrap summary. So in the wrap summary, add top-up, add investment. Then select the account that you want to top up. So in here, I'll select the ISA and hit Add. Next, choose whether to give the ISA account an individual name. Select the contribution type. You'll see the annual advisory will pull through, then hit Next. Now choose the amount to add and the payment method, if it's direct credit or cheque, and the initial fee. If you need to add any more regular payments or lump sums, you can hit the Add buttons here, then hit Next. If they use a model portfolios, the details of that will have pulled through. If you need to change that investment direction, you can either reset the model portfolio assets and then choose your assets in the left box. If not, just press Next. The next page will then display the illustration growth rates. If you need to change these, you can change these. And then at this stage, if you want to create the illustration, check the illustration box. If not, check the Submit box and hit Submit. The supporting documents will then be generated. You're then able to download these and send them to us. I'm now going to show you how to add a new junior ISA. This journey typically starts with a registered contact. However, if you are setting up additional wrappers, such as a pension, we would recommend that you set up the child as a client first. This ensures that the bank details are completed for the child, as there is no option to add the bank details when adding a new junior ISA through the Add New Junior ISA process. If the registered contact is not already a client on the platform, you'll need to first add this client via the new client journey. From the existing client summary page, select Top Up, Add Investment, and select the Junior ISA from the drop-down menu, and then press the Add button. At this point, a pop-up box will appear to confirm that this person will be the registered contact, and this explains that the registered contact is either a parent or legal guardian. Then tick to confirm. Next, select the contribution type. You have the option of payments, transfer, and re-registrations, or BED and junior ISA. Transfers and re-registrations can come from existing child trust funds or existing junior ISAs held elsewhere. It's also possible to complete a BED and JISA where the registered contact has already an active general account on the platform. If there is any advisor fee to add this as either a percentage or monetary amount, and now hit Next. You're then taken to the Add Account Holder section. Now, select Add Account Holder. If the child already has a wrap account, you can search for the child in the search fields, or if the child has not already been added, you can add them here. But remember, if you add a child in at this stage, there will not be the option to add any bank details against the child's account. Click on the Add New Client as Account Holder. All the fields with an asterisk are required fields. We'll also need a contact number. If you would like the child to also have access to Nucleus Go, complete an email address and select the Site Access options. And now that you've added all the information, click Add Account Holder. You can now see the child's details are viewable. You've then got the option to decide how you'd like the junior ISA to be displayed against the registered contact. You can choose to either have the junior ISA displayed within the registered contact's wrap summary. If so, select yes. Or if you only want to have the junior ISA viewable within the child's wrap summary, select no, then hit Next. As I've selected a transfer, the next stage will be to add in details of the transfer, and dependent on whether the transfer is coming from a child trust fund or existing junior ISA held elsewhere, the boxes will populate below with the required data fields. In this example, I'll select a child trust fund. Select the seeding provider in the drop-down box. You'll notice the provider address will pre-populate. Then enter the account number and the transfer value. You'll also need to enter in the child trust fund unique reference number. This will be in the same format as a national insurance number and will be available from the seeding provider. Finally, enter in any initial fee if applicable and then hit Next. This takes you to the Payments and Withdrawals option. To add a payment, the payer will always default to the registered contact, but if you want to add an additional third-party payer, you can do so here by adding the third-party payment option. Now select whether there's a lump sum, regular contribution, frequency and payment date. In this section, you can also add a bed and junior ISA. Once you've completed this section, hit Next for the asset selection. Here you'll be able to select either individual assets or search for a model portfolio. Where there is more than one payer, the model portfolio will be selected against all payers. Once you've completed the section, hit Next to go to the confirmation stage. Here, you'll need to complete the money laundering declaration, and for the junior ISA, we'll need you to confirm you've checked the client's age. You'll also need to confirm that the client doesn't have another junior ISA held elsewhere. Then you can check the Submit box and hit Submit. You'll now be able to view and download the application summary as well as the supporting documents to complete and return to us. You'll also notice that once you've submitted the application, the Junior ISA account number has generated. And now if you search for the client through the Client tab and enter the account number, you'll see you have the option to view the account either through the registered contacts details or through the child's account. I'm now going to show you how to add a bed and ISA for an existing client. This is where the client already holds an active general account on the platform. Remember, if the client has had a break in their ISA subscription years, the ISA top-up preventer will first need to be removed. You can check if there's an ISA top-up preventer in place from the ISA contributions report. So, now to start the bed and ISA process. Once you've searched for your client, from the client's wrap summary, select the ISA that you want to make the contribution into, and then select Top Up, Add Investment. Next, in the contribution type, select the bed and ISA, then press Next. Now, select the general account from where the funds will be applied. If the client has multiple general accounts, be sure to select the appropriate account from the drop-down menu. You will not be able to add an initial fee for the bed and ISA. If an advisor fee is applicable, you will need to complete and submit an ad hoc fee instruction and send this in to us. Next, choose the amount and the allocation method. You can select either pro rata across all assets or either split of the model, and then allocate assets, or alternatively, you can select bed and ISA max. You will then see the amount has been equally split across the selected assets. You'll also see it is possible to exclude any specific assets. It's also possible to clear the assets and re-enter a new amount should you need to rekey anything at this stage, then hit Next. Now, select the new asset selection for the investment. You'll see the existing investment direction has pulled through. If needed, you can reset this asset list or search for a new asset. Now press Next. You can change the growth rates if required, and then check the Submit box and hit Submit. Once the application has been submitted, the application summary document will be generated, which you can then view and print. We don't require sight of this paperwork. The bed and ISA trays will then pick up at the next available trading point. I'm now going to show you how to instruct an inter-account transfer between clients' two accounts. You may wish to use this method if you wish to take an initial fee, which you wouldn't be able to do if you were using the bed and ISA function. So log into the platform, select the clients, search for the clients either through the account number, client reference, or the account name. Hit search, select the client, then choose Top Up, Add Investment. Now, in the Top Up section, select the wrapper that you wish to top up. Hit the Add button. Now select the contribution type. Enter in the amount And the payment method will be the general account it's coming from. And then you can add in your initial fee. Then hit next. Now to select the assets. If they're using a model portfolio, the model portfolio will already pull through. But if you wish to change that and they wish to invest in cash or into different assets, you can reset the fund list at the bottom of the page. You can enter in your fund by searching by the name or CEDL code, then add in the amount and hit next. If you wish to, you can change the illustration growth rates, then hit submit and the submit button. The illustration will generate. Select the orange ribbon at the top, where all the documents that you need will be generated, including the application summary, which will need signed and returned to us. If the client hasn't subscribed to their ISA in the previous tax year, you'll need to ensure that a new ISA declaration is completed prior to starting this process. This will remove the ISA top-up preventer. When moving money between accounts, there's two options on the platform. There's the bed and ISA process or the intra-account transfer process. So the bed and ISA is for clients that are moving money from their general account into their own ISA account. There's less paperwork to do, and the actual subscription deadline is counted as the date that the last sell trade moves into order status. And because of this, it's a little more streamlined and can take a couple of days less. So there's a couple of days less out of the market. All this will depend, though, on the dealing cut-off times, whether there's any flagged assets in there or any non-standard assets that potentially could increase that market time. It also allows for where a client has a joint general account with their spouse, they can move the two bed and ISAs simultaneously, as we have trade-on-trade facility. The intra-account transfer process would be used where the general and ISA accounts are under different client references, and for example, where the spouse is funding their partner's ISA, so it's coming from their general account into their spouse's ISA account. It also means that you're able to key on an initial fee, whereas in the bed and ISA process, there's no ability to key initial fee, and any fees would have to be taken as an ad hoc. So they're really the two differences between those two processes. As the contribution reports I've already shown you, you probably also want to know what your client's capital gains liabilities could be. So I'll now show you how to use our Narrate Capital Gains tool, which provides a detailed breakdown of clients' realised and unrealised gains. Once you've logged in, search for the client, and then to access the tool, select the Tools and Reports tab. You can either do this from the client's wrap summary or account summary, and then select Narrate CG. You will then see in the Client Summary panel a list of all the client's gross general and general accounts. You'll see that the unrealised gain is automatically selected. And on the right hand side, you'll see a select checkbox. This allows you to select one or more of the client's general accounts. In the summary panel, you can also see details of the client's non-cash holdings, acquisition cost, unrealised and realised gains, and number of disposals. If the client has a joint general account, the figure displayed here are 50% of the total, representing the client's personal liability. To view the realised gains, click the Realised Gains option. You'll then see the data adjusts to show the realised gains or losses made in the current tax year, or the date range you've selected. This data shows the disposal value, the total acquisition cost, the total net gain or loss, and the number of disposals. You can also change the date range from the current tax year, last tax year, or by a custom range. To view the account data, select the checkbox at the end of the row. Where there is only one general account, this checkbox will always be selected by default. You can also sort any of the data in these columns, wherever you see a small triangle next to the column header. You can also see an expanded view of any of the assets by selecting the triangle next to the asset name. If there are more transactions to be displayed within the selected date range, if you scroll down, you'll see a Show All Transaction box. If you select this, this will show the remaining transactions. You'll also see there's an option to edit transactions. The Edit Transaction function allows you to mark a disposal that is not liable for capital gains, and more information on how to use this function can be found in the Support Tutorial section of the Support tab. You can also add multiple clients. To add more clients, go to the Add Client selection and then enter the name. You can either search by client name, account number, or client reference number that starts with 100. The client name will pre-populate as you start typing. Select the client's general account details will then appear in the client summary box, and if any joint account holders are selected, both clients will appear in the panel. You can add a further 3 more clients. The clients do not need to be linked, and to remove any selected clients, click on the orange X next to the client's name. Next, to download the report, select the Down Report arrow, and you'll see you have 3 download options. First, as a PDF, this will generate a PDF document that will contain the information only for the accounts you've selected. The second option is the CSV version of this data, and again, this will generate the information in CSV format and only for the accounts you've selected. The final option is the Full History Report, and this will pull through as a CSV file and will contain all the client's general and gross general account information, regardless of whether you've ticked the selected account checkboxes or not. In the report section, I showed you how to run a pension contribution report. So now I'll show you how you can add a pension top-up. So once you've logged in, select the client from the search box. Once you're in the client account, go to Top Up, Add Investment. Select the account that you wish to top up. Select Add. You can give the account a name if you wish. Select the contribution type. You'll see the annual advice fee pulls through automatically. Then confirm whether they are subject to the MPAA, and then hit Next. Then enter in the amount and the payment method, any initial fee. You can also add any additional lump sums or regular payments at this point, and then press Next. If they are already in a model portfolio, the existing model portfolio will pull through. You can either reset this and choose your own funds. Otherwise, if you're happy with the selection, you can view the key investor information documents, or you can just press Next to go to the next stage. Here, you'll then be able to add any beneficiaries, and if you wish to, you can change the standard annuity illustration details. Then press Next. You can also change the illustration growth rates. If you want to generate the illustration at this point, you can tick the Illustrate button and hit Illustrate. If not, tick the Submit button, confirm whether they are a politically exposed person and the verification method, and then hit Submit. After this, documents will generate. These can be downloaded, completed, and returned to us. Did you know that as well as using the pension contributions report, you can also see if a client has triggered the money purchase annual allowance from the client's wrap summary? If you go into the client's account, select the pension account, you'll see that from the account details section whether they are subject to the MPAA and the date that the MPAA was triggered. So to add a top-up, select Top Up, Add Investment, add in the contribution type and any annual advice fee percentage or amount, and then hit Next. On this page, you'll then see an alert pop up to notify you the client is subject to the money purchase annual allowance. If you then entered in a contribution amount that was greater than the remaining allowance left, another message will pop up to explain that this is above the maximum money purchase annual allowance available. So in the amount, type in the amount of the contribution, the payment method, and whether there's any initial advice fee, and then continue with the rest of the application, following through the remaining steps, downloading the documents and sending those to us. So I've taken you through the reports already, and I've taken you through how to add on pension top-ups, but just a couple of extra hints. So again, remembering to use the pension contribution report to identify any clients' remaining annual allowance. And again, if they have triggered the money purchase annual allowance, the remaining balance of that, or indeed, if they haven't yet triggered that and they want to use up that full 4,000, again, using those reports to identify those clients. And a quick one on income payments. So HMRC regards income received as the date that the payment is expected into the client's bank account, and income is paid 2 business days before the effective date. So on our timings, we're looking at the 29th of March as the cutoff for income in this tax year. And just as a final reminder on that, really, just remember that there needs to be sufficient cash available to meet any gross income payments. I hope you found the demos helpful. And if you need to review any of the application processes, we have a range of how-to user guides and videos in the library and support tabs on the platform. David covered off at the start of the session. He showed you an overview of the Tax Year End tab, and on the platform, the Tax Year Support Hub from our website, which provides information on all the key dates and deadlines. And here's a quick recap of those important deadline dates and some hints and tips to help you manage the busy period. So Friday the 19th of March, this is the final date with sales at order status to be settled in time to arrange pension income in the current tax year. 24th of March is the final date with sales at order status to be settled in time to process an inter-account transfer. So that's either general to pension or general to an ISA. Monday the 29th of March is the final date for receipt of pension income instructions. There must be enough available cash to meet the gross income payment. It's also the last day to arrange a backs payment to us, which can take 3 to 5 days to settle. Tuesday the 30th of March, this is the final date to send applications to us. If you're posting, we recommend sending by recorded or special delivery, or use our scan document process and send this via direct instead of posting. And any income instructions processed on or after this date will be classed as income in the new tax year. Thursday, the 1st of April is the last date for inter-account transfer applications where there is sufficient cash available in the general account. It's also the last day for CHAPS payments to be sent to us, and the last day for checks and direct credit instructions with fully completed application documents to be received by us. So due to Friday the 2nd and Monday the 5th both being bank holidays, Thursday the 1st is the final date for processing all 2021 tax year contributions, and it's the last day for trades to be ordered on the general account for Ben and ISA. So trade processing times. When you place trades on platforms, they run through a cycle that typically takes trade plus 5 working days to sell and trade plus 4 working days to buy. When you place a sell on the platform, you'll see it move through a trading cycle. So it starts off as a waiting order. This is when the trade has been placed, when order hasn't yet been sent to the fund manager. Awaiting confirmation. This is when the trade order has been sent, but we're waiting for confirmation from the fund manager. Then there's awaiting settlement. This is when the price has been confirmed and we're waiting to receive the cash from the fund manager. Once the trade has been confirmed, the cash from the sale will appear in uncleared cash until the fund manager settles the deal with us, at which point it will move into available cash. When a buy trade has been placed on the platform, the monies allocated to the buy will be set aside and will show in the cash account as reserved cash. The buy instruction creates a trade order that's sent to the respective asset manager for processing. The trading cycle is similar to that of the sell. So it starts off as a waiting order. Again, this is when the trade has not yet been placed with the fund manager. Ordered, this is the stage when the deal has been placed with the fund manager. Then there's reconciled. This is when the deal has been confirmed by the fund manager and finally applied. This is the final stage of the cycle, and this is when the units have been applied to the client's account. With trade on trade, the introduction of trade on trade allows you to place sales over pending trades as long as there's funds available. This means that there's no delay in waiting for trades to settle. This functionality will allow withdrawals on top of pending rebalance instruction, auto sell down, or regular contributions and withdrawals. If the client is taking regular income and an instruction is made to sell down for another purpose, you don't need to wait for that income trade to complete, subject to availability of the asset and maintaining, of course, minimum cash balances. There's no delay to one-off withdrawals if a regular withdrawal is in progress. And with trade on trade, this also allows you to key 2 bed and ISA transactions on a joint general account. So trading times, the trades that are direct with fund managers are 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. If it's winter flood, it's 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. If they're manual dealing instructions, such as structured products, fixed term deposits, so anything that's non-electric, that goes to fund managers, that request is at 10:30. You can also check the trade settlement timescales by downloading the funds report from the reports tab. If you want to monitor your trades, you can monitor the progress of trades by setting up alerts, and you can customize your alerts from the tools section on the platform. You can also view the status of trades by accessing the trades outstanding report, available again in the report section on the platform. So with bed and ISA, the buy trades will order when the sell transactions in the general account have priced. This doesn't affect the subscription date, which is set as the date the sell ordered on the general account. So some hints and tips. Declarations are relevant to the appropriate tax year, and just prior to the end of the current tax year, the new tax year declarations will be uploaded. So take extra care to ensure the appropriate declaration is selected for the relevant tax year. For new clients, we need to receive all the completed paperwork before funds can be applied, and these must be received within the tax year end deadline. For any existing clients with ISAs where they've had a break in their ISA subscription years, a new ISA declaration must first be received by us to remove the ISA top-up preventer that will be in place. So once this form has been received and actioned, you can then go ahead and key on any new ISA contributions. The declaration form also covers all the wrapper types, so just ensure that the correct wrapper account type is ticked on the declaration and the declaration has been signed and dated by the client. So we've all had to get used to some different ways of working over the course of the previous year. We've introduced some new business procedures to help you manage this new remote home working landscape. First, we introduced the functionality to accept scanned documents. This includes new business declarations and wrapper-specific forms. So rather than having to post forms to us, you can now send these forms scanned and uploaded securely via our Jira messaging system. We no longer require the physical paper copy, with the exception of some certified documents or trust documents. And a full list of all the documents that can be sent to us as scanned documents are detailed in the scanned document user guide, which can be found in the user guide section in the platform library. So then, as a natural extension to this, we introduced our new e-signature process. This means that by using one of our e-signature software providers we've linked with, you can send new business application documents and client servicing forms via your e-signature provider directly to your client. They can sign this electronically and then send these forms to us securely via Jira. This actually then eliminates the need for either you or your clients to print anything and can reduce the admin time down by up to 10 days compared to the traditional postal method. Again, for more information on this and for a list of the e-signature providers available, please check out our e-signature user guide, which is available in the user guide section from the platform library. And application summary. So we always get asked when are application summaries required. So to answer this question, we need application summaries whenever there are new monies into an account, when there's an intra-account transfer, either general to ISA or general to pension, and whenever there's a transfer or re-registration in, and for any new regular contribution instructions. And direct credits is a method of clients transferring monies from their bank account directly to us. This can make the receipt of monies faster as there's no waiting for checks to clear. Our bank account details will differ by the wrapper type. So when using this method, be sure to provide your client with the correct bank details. All the bank details can be found in the application checklist, which can be downloaded from the pre-sale section of the platform library tab. If the client is sending funds by direct credit, it's always best to ask your clients to check what their daily banking limit is with their bank, as some banks may limit this for security purposes. If the amount of the application that's being submitted is more than the client's daily banking limit, you'll need to create multiple payment expectations so that each tranche of money is aligned to its own expectation. This will avoid any delays with the monies being reconciled on receipt. And when keying on commitments, if we receive funds for ISA and general accounts that haven't had a commitment already keyed on, we'll add these into 100% cash, and then we'll notify you on Jira to make the investment. And Nucleus Go is the client portal that lets your clients view their account online. They can also use their Nucleus Go account to set up a one-time authority for ad hoc fees. This means that once your client has authorised ad hoc fees, for as long as they continue to allow this, we don't need a further declaration form, enabling you to instruct an ad hoc fee without additional forms. But if they don't use Go and you still want them to authorise ad hoc fees, they can complete a form, and once we receive this, that ad hoc fee facility remains in place unless the client revokes it. So how can we support you? So David mentioned the places you can go to find support. So as a quick recap, you can contact us via your dedicated client relations team, send us a secure message or use the live chat function. And our Tax Year End tab and technical support hub can be found in our advisor website. And to watch a range of the how-to videos that we showed you today and many more, you'll find these in the support tab of the platform, as well as these support tutorials. If you prefer to read user guides on various aspects of the platform functionality, you'll find these are all available to download in the user guide section of the platform library. And finally, for clients that want to view their account online, they can be registered to access Nucleus Go. It's easy for you to set up. And if you need any more information on this, again, you'll find a guide to Nucleus Go in the platform library tab. So let's get technical. We also offer a range of technical support. You'll find our technical studio from the advisor site, and there's also a link from our Tax Year End hub. You'll find a wealth of support material covering a range of pension, taxation, trust and investment. And now I'll pass you back over to Natalie and David.
That's great. Thank you, Sarah. And thanks for the excellent content and insight as well to all things tax year end. Now, for all of you, we haven't received any questions on the pre-submission so far, although we have received a question submitted just now around what happens if any regular payments that are due to be collected between the 2nd and 5th of April, will they be collected early on the 1st, or will they be credited to this tax year? So again, I guess with this, it will depend on the basis of which those payments are being sent across. So usually from a banking perspective, if your payments are being made by standing order and you have a public holiday or a weekend on which that standing order falls, it will be the next working date after that standing order normal date that the bank would then send the money to us. With a direct debit, again, usually with a direct debit, the same would apply. So it's actually worth checking what type of payment instruction you have set up, and also contact your banking provider in the first instance. If it is a direct credit that you're actually applying, and again, that's being done through the bank, it would be worthwhile contacting your bank just to check their cut-off timescales as well. Now, clearly, from our perspective, in terms of paperwork received, we would have to have those in by the dates that Sarah has already given. So that's the only question we've had in. So thank you all for being so kind to us today. I'm hoping that, and trusting that everything we've provided you with has answered any questions you've had along the way. But if not, please don't hesitate to get in touch with your support contacts. So whether that's your relationship account managers, such as Sarah and myself, your customer relationship managers, or contact us via the live hub. Also as well, you've got the Tax Year End hub available to you, both on the platform and as a standalone via our website. So please do use that as a resource, and you can also catch this video there as well after this session.
Lovely. Thank you very much, David, and thank you, Sarah, as well. Lots to go through there, so thank you both very much. Hopefully you've registered your details by now, but if not, and you are still seeing that register button, just click on it and pop in your name and your email address. And if you're watching in full screen, you might just need to come out of that in order to view it. Once we've got your details, we'll send you a short feedback survey, and we love to hear what you thought about today, so just let us know via that. You'll also get a copy of the slides, plus a recording of today's event, which you can kind of access later to watch back or share with your colleagues as you see fit. So as David and Sarah have mentioned, we've got our tax year end hub, which kind of pulls together all of our resources, fact sheets, guides, all of that kind of thing, plus a reminder of some of those key dates and deadlines to kind of abide by. So you can access that, as mentioned, via our website, which you probably know is nucleusfinancial.com. So obviously tax year end is slightly complicated this year because we've got the budget next week. So with that in mind, we've brought together our former Illuminate speakers, Tony Wickenden and Claire Trott of Technical Connection, and they're going to join us on the 16th of March to talk through the big budget announcements and how these might impact some of the planning that you're doing with clients right now. So if you haven't registered for that yet, you can do that via the hub, or you can do it via the link in the email that you'll be getting from us shortly, where you can kind of sign up. So that's it from us. Thank you so much for giving up your time today. We really appreciate you joining us, as always, and we really hope to see you again soon.